bike, guys. Riding this bike is amazing. And with the owner's wish for us to have fun, and we definitely will, we can start the test ride. The instrumentation is really, really cool. And I don't know how to start it. Yes, I know. It won't start. Perfect. How do you start the bike?
So I can't just pull the clutch and start it?
Hey, no, that's nonsense though, eh? Okay, no, wait, because if I say it like that, it doesn't make sense. What happens if the bike is turned off with the kickstand? So let's say clutch pulled, first gear engaged, kickstand down. The bike obviously turns off because it has the sensor.
Absolutely. They all have it. But to start it again, you have to put it in neutral.
For example, my bike doesn't have this. I'm not sure if all Yamahas do, but I think it's unnecessary. Let me know if you have a Yamaha too.
Not an MT-09, obviously, because I know it does. Maybe an MT-07 or an R1, etc.
If when the bike was turned off with the kickstand, to start it again, you necessarily have to put it in neutral, otherwise it won't start.
So let's officially start the test of this MT-09. Alright, let's begin as we usually do. By now, it's a classic phrase of test rides. From comfort to riding, the seat is really comfortable. For me, used to super sport bikes, it's a pleasure. The back is straight, but you still lean forward with your shoulders because it has a somewhat sporty riding position. Your legs are nicely wrapped around the tank and the foot pegs are set quite far back. I have to say, so even for taller riders, it's really comfortable. And to finish talking about comfort, I have to say that the handlebar bend is really good. It feels very, very aggressive, meaning it keeps you at the front of the bike with your head and shoulders, and it doesn't bother your hands at all.
The bike has various mappings, and since we're stopped at the traffic light, I'll list them for you. They are A, B, and C, the usual Yamaha ones, and the traction control.
These are the only electronic features besides the fact that the bike has a quick shifter. Obviously, the bike, like all post 2013 or 2014 models, also comes standard with ABS, which cannot be disabled. As for the traction control that can be turned off, let's start using the quick shifter to upshift and talk a bit about the engine. An engine that delivers 115 horsepower with a torque of 88 Nm. The engine is lively, crisp, and knows how to make you have fun. With this exhaust, which is made by Akrapovic, Yamaha is sure to give you thrills, both in terms of sound and physical sensation. I don't need to tell you that wind protection is non-existent, and over time it can get annoying. Now let's talk a bit about the chassis. Upside down forks at the front, of course, and an adjustable monoshock at the rear. And of course at the front when it comes to the brakes. A braking system with twin discs measuring 298 millimeters, standard rubber hoses, and an axial pump. At the rear instead, a single disc measuring 245 millimeters. And unfortunately, there too we have rubber hoses. Now, however, let's go to our usual little curves and I'll show you what the MT-09 can really do in a city setting. It's a bike that stays well planted on the ground, it lets you have fun easily, and it has good grip in the corners, thanks to the suspension. And between the curbs is like a blade. It tends to flex a little, but that's because the owner has set the suspension to his own preferences.
He's nearly 1.90 m tall and weighs 100 kilos.
It goes without saying that being a bit slimmer and being 1.80 m tall, it goes without saying that the suspension responds to me a bit differently. At times the bike can even seem a bit rough.
Now I'd say let's go test this 3-cylinder crossplane engine, which is where the crossplane 3 name comes from. It's stamped on the right side of the engine casing, and let's take a moment to see how the engine performs. I also really like the slipper clutch. You can downshift as many gears as you want, and it'll be almost impossible to make it struggle. Another thing I really appreciate is that on this fan bike, because that's how I would define it, it's a bike that makes you have a lot of fun. The electronics aren't intrusive. In fact, they actually help you out in some way, because with the map set to A and the traction control on 1, the engine control unit lets the front wheel lift up smoothly, allowing it to glide without cutting the power and bringing it back down on the right side of the bike. I think you should be able to see it from here on camera.
There's a heat shield that Yamaha put there specifically to keep you from burning your calf.
Since our leg will be right there, as far as the heat goes, the way it is now, it doesn't get too hot. However, the owner told me that when he was in traffic and still had the decibel killer on this Acra exhaust, the bike would easily reach up to 106 degrees. But after removing the decibel killer, this effect was gone. Maybe because the engine can breathe better and the temperatures in city use have dropped to 80 degrees. Now we're going to go for a quick run where we know we can, since we won't bother anyone and there's nobody around, and we'll see each other again right after the run. So guys, what can I say? This test ride has also come to an end. The MT-09 is definitely a really fun bike with its 3-cylinder engine that definitely gives you strong emotions, especially on the track when you set it to map and traction control level 1. One of the few negative things I managed to find about this bike is definitely the throttle response, which you really have to treat with respect. The bike is generally perfect in my opinion. The SP version is definitely even better than the one I tried. So I recommend it to all those guys or girls who want to get it, as long as they already have a bit of experience. Because you need to be a little careful with it. So that's all for this test ride. I thank you for keeping me company if you had fun. If you liked the test ride, leave a nice comment and a like below the video. And as usual, I'll see you at the next one. That's all from Frecciaverde and the MT-09. Bye.